Welcome to Ask Simmo. Thanks to ECU. It's the fans' chance to ask the questions of our coach each and every week, and the winner gets to win a Superstore voucher as selected by our coach, Adam Simpson. Firstly, mate, congratulations. What a great win. Stadium was certainly rocking, wasn't it, on Sunday night? The whole fan base was absolutely ecstatic with that great victory. A lot of questions this week, all very positive from the West Coast Eagles fans, so it's going to be tough to pick a winner. First of all, a lot of people have asked you about what took place in the box. With 1 minute 26 left, there's a shot of you smiling in the box. And we'll take Barbara White's question. It said, Simmo, the look on your face when Bunga marked the ball and sent it forward with 1 minute 26 left was priceless. What were you thinking? What was going on?
I actually remember I was really casual actually in the last 4 or 5 minutes. Like we had the game on our terms, so not casual, but I thought we couldn't do much more. And I thought this is a really good game. That's what I was thinking. And I thought if we can win this, it'll be very special. So I don't know, I had a sense of composure. Yeah, and I did. I was smiling because I was really proud of our players. So win, lose or draw, it was just, you know, when you play games like this and big sides, and it's just a real test of where you're at. So, yeah, I was probably relieved to know that we were in the mix, and then to get away with a win was, yeah, that was a pretty special result in the end. That last passage of play felt very familiar, didn't it? But that was a great bit of play. But yeah, the last quarter in general, I thought we really stood up.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a very popular comment made by a lot of people on social media about what was taking place and how relaxed you were. Let's go to Twitter now, courtesy of Ben. He says, how did the defensive winger role change due to Richmond's forward handballing game? Normally a role for Brander or Marston in the past. It seemed more of a team effort.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, a lot of teams have a support mechanism when they play, and they often use wingers to roll back and support the defenders. It's hard to do that against Richmond because they move the ball so quick, and before you know it, you're exposing your back line. So got to find ways to help support defence. I still thought Redden, who did it on occasions, and Duggan are out there, and Jackie Warden was playing that role a little bit as well. I still think they had opportunities to support our defence with our mids, and we put good pressure up the ground. So a good question, but we still managed to find a way to get a bit of support there.
Let's stay with Twitter, and Brad says, you've had to play some of your kids sooner than many people would have expected, i.e. Edwards, Boys and Foley. Now, did training, the waffle form, indicate to you that they were going to be up to the AFL standard so quickly, or have you been pleasantly surprised so far?
Yeah, it's interesting on draftees. I've got a reasonable eye for it, not a great eye. I did think this year's draft with Winder, True and Edwards, they all looked within 2 weeks very comfortable on the track, and just the signs sort of suggested these guys have got a good bit of composure and there's a bit of X factor with all of them. So I'm not surprised Luke adapted himself well. I was a little bit surprised 11 touches in the last quarter in the biggest game of the year, but his composure was something we saw pretty much straight away. So really pleased he's been involved in AFL games now, and Harry Edwards he's been a couple of years in the making. So he's sort of 200 centimetres. You know, he's still learning his craft, but he hasn't looked out of place. And the last one's Luke Foley. I thought his composure, and he's done a little bit more work in waffle. So his apprenticeship's been a bit longer than the other boys. So he's ready to go. Now it's about securing his spot. So yeah, proud of all those young fellas.
And on the back of that, sort of a second question of the same one from Brad, he said, so around selection dilemmas now, because you've got your experienced players probably going to come back after the bye. Match committee is going to be a tough one for the next game.
Yeah, well, we've got a bye, so we'll have Subi, Waffle Eagles play this week. I reckon we'll have a couple of guys play there, more than a couple. So we'll see where we're at with a couple of those guys. But, you know, the mainstay is with you know, McGovern, Shepherd, Shuey and Kelly. Those guys will be available and we'll play against the Bulldogs. Just got to, you know, I think Luke will probably play Waffle Eagles. So the other three will be available. And then there'll be other guys who will be in the mix for discussion. You know, obviously, Petruccelli, Witherden, Bailey Williams. I'm sure I've forgotten a Brander. Yeah, there's a few there. So we'll have up to 8 players available, I would have thought, by the Bulldogs, hopefully.
And you can see the Eagles, Waffle Eagles up against Subiaco on the live stream as well. Looking forward to that one. Hey, Simmo, this comes from Dane Train. on Facebook. Yo's pressure on the ball, in particular late, had a lot to do maybe with winning the game. How much impact do you think he brings to the team now that he's got a couple of games under his belt?
Yeah, well, I suppose we weren't scrutinised, but there was questions asked about bringing him back when we did, and I think his build's been pretty good. You know, we got him through 70 minutes the first week, around 80 minutes the second week, and on the weekend, I think he played the whole last quarter. Might have got off very briefly with a bit of a cut lip, but we knew he was going to take a bit of time to build. It's not about increasing his time on ground, it's increasing his time on ball. So in the last quarter, he really stood up, and he's a big game player, and he's a bull for us. So we've missed him. Yeah, we've missed him as much as we've missed Luke Shuey. So, yeah, looking forward to getting more back together, to be honest, guys.
Kurt Venny on Facebook says, Simmo, I really like the brand of footy against the Tigers, taking it on more through the corridor and putting pressure on the ball carrier. Is that something that you want to see more of?
Well, there's a couple of plays that we just kicked it up the chimney and it just bounced our way. I can't say that was the strategy pre-game, but we did say to be brave. So you got to really beat Richmond. You got to play your way. You can't just play the game and see how you go. You've got to actually enforce your style. And they're very good at playing their way and making you play their way as well. So, you know, for the most part, it was probably played on their terms more than ours for most tonight. But the last quarter, we got on top on the contest, and then we got good field position, and yeah, we locked it in the front half. I think they're 19 on inside 50s. So we took advantage of that supply in the end. So yeah, rather than ball movement, it was probably more contest.
And the last one comes from Philip Boyd on Twitter. He says, Simmo, what are your plans for the bye week?
Well, my daughter, Ali, got a licence today. She got a P's. So she got a P's and we got in the car park, and then she put the car in drive instead of reverse. But she had the handbrake on, so it was all good. Anyway, so we'll let her drive around for a couple of days. Yeah, not too much, mate. Not too much. We'll lay low as a family. School's still on. Try and see a bit of sport with my kids, and then say good day to my wife again.
Yeah, good on you, mate. Well done, and congratulations to Ali as well. All right, the winner gets a team store voucher, Simmo. There's some good ones.
Who asked the question about the wingers? Who was that?
That was Ben on Twitter.
Ben, okay. I'll give it to Ben, mate. Not the was it the T train? That wasn't T train, was it?
That was the Dane train on Chloe.
Dane train. It's the T train. No, we'll give it to the winger.
Good on you. Congratulations to Ben. You've won yourself a team store voucher. Lots of great merch at our superstore at Mineral Resources Park. Congratulations, mate. Enjoy the weekend off, so to speak.
Thanks, mate. Good on you.
This has been Simmo. Thanks to ECU.